Mile, turn left onto Piers Gorge Road.
I guess we're going back to
Michigan.
I guess we're going back to Michigan for this next one. All of these spots I have pinned are right on the border. Piers Gorge. Okay, this is Piers Gorge. We're back on the Michigan side, so this is a state scenic area. Just up past the entrance station here to the right, I saw a whole bunch of white rafting tour units, so this place was pretty well highlighted on the map, so must be fairly popular. So let's see, what do we have here? So we got Sand Portage Falls, Massacott Falls. Up here's where we are. I already have the annual pass, so I don't have to register here. I decided before I hit that trail to use the vault toilet, but check this guy out. I don't know how close he'll let me get, but look at those colors. Okay, so according to All Trails, this is 2.6 miles out and back with lots of rapids to view, and it's considered moderate difficulty. Moderate in difficulty. Moderate in difficulty, not moderately difficult, like Dead River Falls was. I don't know if we will do the whole 2.6. They say it usually takes 1 to 2 hours to do, which makes sense if you hike at a pace of 2.5 miles per hour. But it is warm today, as I've mentioned a few times now, because it's warm today. I'm digging the boardwalk. And you can't see up there's the river through the trees over there. All right, this must be where the trail goes from easy to moderate. First pier, this way. Okay. In case you didn't notice, I did not film the hike back up and out of Smalley Falls. By the time I got up that first section, I was huffing and puffing pretty good, and nobody needs to hear that. There's a river. First pier. Alrighty, here we go. Now there's a view. You can see the way the water has worn away these rocks. Holy crap. That could be a thumbnail. But first, a selfie. Holy crap. I mean, that's just an epic view. I almost skipped this place. That would have been a huge mistake. Because this view right here is worth the hour and 20-minute drive out here. Like, this should be a puzzle. Holy cow. Okay, so over there, where are they at? I don't even really see on camera too well, but there's a bunch of rafters. Wow, I just cannot get over that view. All right, so supposedly there's multiple piers. I think there's 4 I saw on that map. I don't know how it's going to beat a view like that, but let's go see if we can find the next one. These rocks are, I've never seen anything quite like this. So there's another little, looks like a kind of overlook over here. Pretty sure the trail goes off behind me to the right there, but yeah, it's just a drop off to the river down in here. All right, never mind. It's kind of my hiking and filming style. This is the FOMO. Got to go check out every little corner and vista point. Make sure I see it all. All right, so looks like I caught up to where these people are rafting. And, oh, you can see them through the trees there. Looks like they stopped for a swim break. It's kind of cool. I am not gonna wander down there. This is gonna be a long enough hike if I do the whole thing without jutting off every chance I get. I'm also going to try just filming in segments. Usually I film, I say film, I record like the entire thing. And then at the end, my hand gets tired and we end up with cockeyed video frames. And then it takes me forever to edit down because just watching me walk along non-changing scenery gets kind of boring, even for me in editing. So, what do we have down here? I mean, it goes to the same point as I was looking at before, but we'll skip it. Yeah, so we're gonna try to film a little less because I'm gonna have enough content out here, I think. And hopefully that cuts down on my editing time. All right, I gotta see this one though. It's a hole in the ground. Okay. All right, here we go. I see the sign, second pier. And right here is why whitewater rafting is so popular out here. Hike on down there. That's pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to hike too much further down. Yeah, I mean that water. Pretty cool. When I see whitewater like this, I always think about that one episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, which was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. It still is, kind of. Where they go, him and Alex go whitewater rafting, and their tour guide is actually an escaped murderer convict. Spoiler alert. Although it's been 30 years, so, you know, if you haven't seen it by now. All right. For our next viewpoint, holy cow. Holy cow! As Harry Carey would say. Wow. Now that is something else too. Yeah, selfie mode just doesn't do it justice. Wow. Well, that's two absolutely amazing shots. Let's keep on going. Cool. Now, I know I said earlier I wanted to go kayaking, but not what I had in mind. I've never had an appetite for whitewater rafting of any sort, but that sure is pretty to look at. Oh, that water's pouring there. All right, looks like now we go downhill a little. I see why all trails rank this as moderate. It's a fair assessment. So far anyway, we're not climbing any mountains or scampering up any sketchy embankments, but it is a rugged trail with rock and roots. Oh, here we are, third pier already. I mean, you're right on top of the water here, but I think that last unofficial point with the bench up there was the better view. Kind of get down in here a little bit. Squat down. See if I can get underneath the trees. Yeah. My friend Kyle would be getting much better shots. He's a way better photographer than I am. Not too shabby, but let's see if we can find pier number 4. Yeah, look at some of this terrain. That's just wild. I know I usually point the camera more like out to where I'm going, but like that's some of the, like, you have some areas that's just packed dirt, then you got some like scattered rocks, and then you got whole sections that are just nothing but tree roots. A chipmunk just darted out right in front of me. Not quite as fearless as the ones at Van Ripper State Park, but close. Little bastards. They're cute, but they're destructive. You know what, that ain't a bad view right there either. Maybe it's just the mostly sunny, very partly cloudy skies today, reflecting off the water at the time of day it is. You know, I swear that lighting can make or break a photo or a video. I'm just not very good at it. Wildfire smoke can also break a video. Go down to the beach. Ah, my sun's dipping behind a cloud. It's gonna screw up my shot. I was literally just talking about the sun being out. There we go. Let's go ahead and have a little seat here. And maybe we'll wait about 30 seconds for that sun to reappear behind that cloud from out behind. Wait 30 seconds for the sun to come back out from behind that cloud. Maybe a selfie. What do you think? Right about there? Right about there, I think. Pretty good. I can live with that. Okay, I had to come out here to the water's edge. Water's actually, compared to Lake Superior, water's pretty warm. Back to my tree stump bench. All right, I think we're getting closer to breaking through here. Come on. Although I gotta admit, the sudden shade does help with temperature. All right, you know what? Life's short. Let's go ahead and keep going to the next vista point, and we will come back to this one on my way back. That is efficient time management. I would say I learned that in business school, but I didn't. Mostly I learned how to hate accounting and configure a Cisco switch. And drive a bus. Some of those skills wound up being more useful than others. And if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, when I was up at Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore, going to look at Miner's Castle, those overlooks. All right, this is a little sketch. I went on a long ramble about flunking out of engineering school on the way down to the overlook. My apologies if you listened to that whole thing. And if you skipped over it, that's what I was talking about. All right, less yapping, more walking. Okay, I'm a little bit confuzzled because according to all trails, like I got a ways to go to the 4th pier, but the sign is right here. Although the sign does say arrow, so maybe I do have a little ways to go, and that it's telling me I need to continue down this trail and not that one.
Liar! It's a trap!
I don't know. I know two-dimensional videos don't always show three-dimensional terrain, but that is a ways down there. That's probably a good 15, 20 foot drop down this. I mean, it's not straight down, but it's steep. You definitely want to watch where you're walking, that's for sure. I've been pretty impressed with all trails. The ability to download maps offline for trails, so you can kind of look up, see where you're at, where you're going. Might be worth actually paying for the membership. Especially if I'm going to continue to do a lot of hiking this summer. Because I really do enjoy this. Okay, this is getting interesting. It's a little bit muddy. I mean, it's not like, I should say it's soft. It's not muddy. All right, that is muddy. What in the actual hell?
What the hell is the world coming to?
How do we go from wide, well-traveled, well-maintained trails to this? That seeming, well, I guess it keeps going past this down tree. I can kind of see a path. Well, these things look look at these. These are prickly as fuck. Get to walk right through there? I don't think so.
I'm in danger.
Holy shit, this whole area is teeming with these things. What the fuck? Okay. Ouch. Well, there's one that just frickin' attacked me. So, these look like thistle. Is that what thistle looks like if you just let it go unchecked? Because I notice there's a lot of thistle on the ground. That makes me think that's what these things are. I'll have to screenshot that portion of the video and send it up to ChatGPT later. Let it analyze that photo while I'm bleeping out my F-bombs. All right, well, I can barely see the trail in here. Looks like it continues down around here. Well, something's really behind that cloud. Ain't coming back out anytime soon. Okay. There's more of it. I'm not sure this portion of the trail can be rated moderate. I hear a motor. So where's the trail now? Up here, I guess. Huh. Well, the sun's peeking back out now. But this looks like it's the end of the trail. All right, let me check my map, see what the hell's going on here. The nice thing with the trails that follow a river, you really can't get lost. You just gotta follow the river back. So I'm not lost by any stretch of the imagination, but I do not see how this trail continues to the so-called fourth pier. Okay, that sign was deceptive. I just zoomed in on the map a little bit closer. Fortunately, I have 1 bar of service, so it loaded. The trail splits right there, and you can take the regular path, which is a little bit longer and goes out and around, which is the more groomed one, like what I was on before, or you can take this, which goes down along the river and is much more, well, this.
He chose poorly.
So yeah, we'll just go ahead and go with I'm a dumbass. And if nothing else, this is just reinforcement for me that I need to spend the money for the Ultra app and actually maybe follow a map instead of just going for a walk in the woods. Sun's back out. That's not too bad of a shot. All right, well. So let's probably add an extra half mile that, yeah, here's the Thistle section again. This adds a half mile to my hike that I wasn't planning on, but Lord knows my ass could use the exercise, so. More thistle. More thistle. Hell of a lot more thistle. See, I'm right here on the edge of this bank too, trying to avoid this thistle. All right. Well, you know, if everything in life was easy, life would be boring. This is an adventure. Yeah, this sign is deceptive as All right, now that I'm back on the beaten trail, literally, pick you up when there's something interesting to see, like a hollowed out tree. 5 minutes later, but I just came kind of up and over and around that little ridge, and looks like we're gonna go down and around over here. We're getting a... And apparently at this point in the video is when my microphone's cut out. I did not know that until editing just now, so I guess we'll do voiceover the rest of the way. So I'm editing this several days later. I have no idea what I was talking about as I walked through here. I do remember commenting that I wish I would have brought a little more water with me as I was starting to run low. Nowhere near like dangerously low or anything like that, but just wishing I'd brought more with me. That's the only thing I remember talking about as I climbed this mountain. I was probably huffing and puffing pretty good and maybe reminding myself to cut this section of video out, or at least the audio. I really don't have too much to add actually, but some of the views here get pretty epic, so I think I'm just gonna throw in a little generic music and enjoy the rest of the hike, and I know the audio comes back on when I get back to my truck, so enjoy. So at this point, I'm on the hike back, and I do encounter several deer out in the trail, which I managed to capture. And I commented in the original audio about how they're much more fun to look at and watch out in the woods when you're hiking, as opposed to when they run out in front of you while you're driving down the highway at 55 plus miles per hour. That one up there just stood there and stared at me for quite a while, even as I walked past on the trail. I'm zoomed in at about 3x on the camera right here, but he was just chilling. Or she, I guess. And now back to original audio. There's another one. Damn little chipmunk right behind me. About gave me a freaking heart attack. Came flying out of the tall grass there. Right in front of me. First I thought it was a snake. Scared the shit out of me. He darted in front of me. Changed his mind. Turned around. Darted back out in front of me. And then over where I came from. Little shit. And I guess we'll do voiceover again. I don't know why my microphones work on some clips and not others. There's no rhyme or reason for this. But anyway, I am now back down to that little beach with my little stump bench where I wanted to capture the photo here with the sun out, but the clouds were overhead. So now that I'm on my way back, I make my way down here, and the sun is shining, and I sit on my little stump and capture the photos that I wanted. One last glimpse in, and back up to the trail and working my way back towards the truck. At this point, my legs are starting to get fairly tired, and I'm looking forward to being done with this hike. I did pause and look at the map a couple of times. Those piers are not evenly spaced out. And then I come upon this bench that I'd completely forgotten about and decide that's a good place to take a load off for a few minutes and just enjoy the view. Here I'm walking back. I'm almost back to the parking lot. Once again, I kind of remember commenting on how tired I was and how there were still 2 more hikes in the area that I had pinned that I would have liked to have gone to see. They're waterfalls. But the sun was getting low and I was getting exhausted. And so at this point, I formalized, if you can call what I'm doing formal, my decision to just go back to camp and make dinner or get dinner en route. And then have a bonfire. So yeah, nothing too utterly fascinating here. It's 9 o'clock. I just got back to camp. I did learn that the 4 western counties in the Upper Peninsula are all on Central Time, which is kind of weird because the county lines kind of like run northwest and northwest direction to southeast, not even like vertical. So that's why my phone was all confused about time zones. So yeah, when I got off that trail and I said it was 6 o'clock, it was 6 o'clock Central Time. But yeah, it's 9 o'clock now. I stopped at a quick trip, I guess, up here, and picked up some butter and some mayo because I was out of those 2 things, and some more of that banana bread, which is one of my favorites. So I'll have that for breakfast. And then when I was coming up through Escanaba, I stopped at a little restaurant and got a chicken sandwich and some fries to go. It was nothing to write home about. So I am sitting here right now. It's nice here, 77 again. It was 89 out on that trail, but 77 out here feels good. And there goes my door. I have a bungee cord hanging off the awning I can strap it back with, but so right now I'm just mustering up the energy to grab my towel and change of clothes and go over to use a shower because I need that, especially after that hike. And then I'm definitely thinking the fire tonight. Alright, not quite 10 o'clock. Got my fire going. Got myself a little bush latte. I edited about 20 minutes of video. I'm still working on Sunday's move video. I also filmed the entire camper setup here. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. I mean, it's okay content. If I do keep it, I'm going to split Sunday's video into 2. Because by the time I move campsites. I go to that, you know, have issues with the forest. Go to that lighthouse, come here and set up, that's an hour. And then after I was done setting up here, well, you've already seen it, so I went down around Escanaba, so I can make that a video in and of itself. Pretty quiet around here. The fire's really starting to take off. Which means that what I bought is actually fairly aged. It's also putting out a lot of smoke, so it was cheap. Do have a few mosquitoes hanging around though. Got my citronella candle going here. We're just have to keep that close. Did go and take a shower. I probably stood underneath the hot water for way longer than I should have, but I've never seen anybody go in and use those bathrooms. You just use the bathroom alone shower, so I didn't feel too guilty staying in there for longer than I should have. It's not like there's a line behind me. The well water I mentioned the other day, it's got a distinct smell to it. Reminds me of summer times when I was a kid, staying up with my grandparents out when they were still living out on the farm. I had well water, so it's the same smell. I've also realized I've gotten really spoiled with soft water. My last two houses have water softeners. Every time I shower someplace with hard water, like, man, I've gotten spoiled. So yeah, I think that's about it for now. Nothing too exciting tonight. I got work in the morning. So I don't even know if there's a baseball game on. Haven't even looked. I think they played earlier today. I'll pick you back up a little bit later on when the sun's down, but it's still pretty light out. I'm just gonna sit here and chill. This is a pretty awesome way to cap a pretty awesome day. Alright, it's almost 11 o'clock here, and my fire's burning down. Go to bed here for too much longer. I just need to close up the back of my truck, and I looked at the forecast, and it's supposed to be 85 and really humid tomorrow, so I can close up the camper. Ouch! So I think I'll, if I don't catch myself on fire first, close up the camper and turn the air on tonight so the humidity doesn't start creeping in first thing in the morning. Yeah, that's going to be it for today, Wednesday, July, I don't know, 27th, 29th, I lost track. And I will pick you up again tomorrow.